Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Arsenal X podcast. As always, we throw out the X. Yes. Because we are about to throw down. I'm your host, Eddie B. And joining me, as always, is my wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going?
And of course, it's boss man from the NGR Radio headquarters, Mr. Corey Dirrig.
It's me, Rushing
Hey, we are back. We took a much needed break. We kind of been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of changes have been going on, but we are back to give you guys a phenomenal episode all about Xbox. But before we get into that, Corey, I gotta ask, what's been in your arsenal, dude?
On our new multiplayer-focused show, Squad Goals, on Mondays. The first episode's up by the time you see this, youtube.com/NGRradio. Plug. So
We'll do that more at the end.
Jesse taught me how to play Siege, and that first episode I did terrible, and I think maybe the last 20 minutes of the second episode that's going up in a couple weeks, like, I think we started, well, Jesse was like owning the game, and I was just like falling behind. You know that meme, that Adventure Time meme, when it's like when you playing with someone super powerful, and it's the one guy that destroys everything, and then guy behind him just picks up everything.
Yeah.
This guy.
Well, and towards the end of it, though, as you guys will see, I kind of backed off and let Corey kind of try to do some stuff in one of the game types. So
Yeah.
it's it's the thing is it's like you didn't really have much unlocked yet, and you haven't played it yet. You don't know what the maps are. So
Yeah.
it was a good start, though. I mean, it's all about learning. So.
I really was enjoying Terrorist Hunt, though. That mode is really cool. So, played that. I'm looking forward to playing more this week. That way we can, like, the next time I won't look like a fool when we're playing it. But of course, we all got to play Halo 4 together finally.
Yeah.
We also recorded that, so you can watch us. You can watch me push Ed off the ledge of a bridge
You're not
while Jesse was completing.
supposed to say nothing about that. I know
There's
nothing what
so
he's talking
much
about.
more
Everybody.
funny stuff in that episode. There's an hour and a half of Halo 4 goodness in there. So, dude, honestly, playing Halo 4 with you guys was the most fun I've had playing a video game in a long time. That was like, that took me back to like, I don't even want to date myself, but like going back to Halo 1, connecting with all your friends on a LAN party and like plowing through the campaigns with your friends and then playing multiplayer. But like, dude, honestly, Halo 4 was the best, the most fun I've had in a game in a long time. It was like, and we were just playing on normal, so we were just kind of like blowing through it, and it feels so good when you're just running through, mowing guys down with your friends. It's so good.
Yeah.
Halo is so good at that, and I don't know, man. I was thinking about it last night when I got off, and I was just like, I wanted to keep going. Like, I really wanted to keep playing last night. But,
Yeah.
Halo 4 is that's a fun game, and I'd never played the campaign co-op, so that was also such a good time.
I never played the game, so yeah.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Me either.
It was just so much fun, and then we got in the ghosts, and then like Ed and I got really behind, and Jesse was just up there, like he was probably like 300 feet ahead of us, and like there's these like falling pillars, and we're all supposed to stay together, and like we couldn't get through the door or there's this one part where like it's like this tunnel, but the pillar falls and blocks the exit to the tunnel, and Jesse's the only one that made it through, and we're just kind of waiting to be spawned ahead to Jesse. And then he died, so then he got spawned with us. So, like, the door is just closed, and we don't know what to do because it's closed. So, so good.
Yes.
I literally can't wait till we play again. Like, I cannot wait till we play more.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. The hijinks, everybody, and Squad Goals is going to be phenomenal. So stick around for part 2 after you see that episode, and stick around for part 2 for Rainbow Six
Yeah.
Siege.
Yeah.
You'll get to see how.
Oh, what?
Go ahead.
Oh.
I was like, you'll get to see how Jesse and Corey play together. You'll hear my voice at the end at one of them. But when you see the hijinks for Halo 4, you're going to want to tune in to part 2 because there's going to be some more shenanigans.
Yeah, and at the end of the first episode of Squad Goals, I put Jesse and I were trying to figure out how we should play together, and like we couldn't get into the same match even though we were in the same party. And so like I put all like there's like 20 minutes of us trying to like reset our Xbox and stuff at the end of the episode just as like bloopers. It's funny. It's pretty funny.
Yes.
But this is all leading up to Sea of Thieves. You know, we are doing these kind of like, yeah, we're going to keep playing Siege and we're going to keep playing Halo, but we want to play the new games too. Like, we're going to do a whole show of Arsenal X from the bow of the ship, you know, probably lock Ed in the cage underneath and then strap him to a cannon and while Jesse and I sail away.
This is going to be a mess.
But there's going to be so much Sea of Thieves content from us. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. I literally can't wait to... it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yes. Well, Jesse, what's been in your arsenal?
Well, I've been playing, obviously, we've been playing some Halo 4. I've been playing some Siege. I've been playing some Dreamcast. Yeah, Dreamcast. I got one of those now. Been playing on Switch. I played some Gulf Story. And yeah, Ed, I was going to tell you about this on Pow Block, but so I beat on Gulf Story. I beat the one golf tournament or whatever, and it turns out that that's just to progress. And you remember I was telling you there was a bridge that wasn't available.
Yeah.
So well, now that bridge is available, and there's like literally like 4 more courses yet. So I'm probably not even half done with the game yet. So that's got to be a big game, man, because I've been playing that thing like every day for, a little bit every day for quite some time now.
I feel like you've been talking about that game for like over a month.
Yeah, and
every time I wake up in the chat, he's like, I'm just now getting to like the new course in Gulf Story. I'm like, how many courses are in this game? It's just like an RPG.
Yeah, so now there's like 4 more courses that opened up, so that I haven't even started in really yet.
Holy crap.
So yeah, it's a pretty big game, and it is so much fun. But yeah, and then I played some Rayman Legends. I've been kind of picking at that a little bit and trying to make my way through that. So that for the most part is what I've been playing. There's a lot of games that are that just recently got added, or that are games that I've been wanting to play that are in Game Pass that I've downloaded. So looking to play like Super Lucky's Tale and eventually get to Rise of the Tomb Raider and stuff like that. So.
I hope you play Super Lucky's Tale and then you feel the pain that I had to feel through that game.
Yeah, I want to try it. I know a lot of people have said there's some issues with it.
Well, you have to experience some garbage. It was not garbage. You sometimes have to witness unfulfilled potential. Okay.
Is that what you call it?
Yes, when you want to be nice and politically correct, you say that. When you want to be ghetto, you call it garbage.
Oh, man.
Well, that's cool. What's been in my arsenal? I finished Doom on Xbox One. Really did enjoy the game. The battles are too long. It's really designed though, and I forgot to mention this on Power Block, but it's like you fight a lot of the enemies and stuff, and you figure out what gun works best for us, so you're always switching around. But like almost like later for the like last 4 levels, you're fighting like bosses, and it's just like, well, you could have spaced this out a bit for with the bosses and stuff, but it just felt like boss after boss after boss for each level, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. Uh, so I might go back, and I kind of want to play it on easy, but it's still like on normal because some of your stuff that you got carries over. So I'm trying to get my character of I get everything. I want to kind of 100% it by getting everything, and then I kind of want to get my character like strong and stuff for it. But really did enjoy it. Enjoy it. Picked up Alan Wake, so can't wait. Really cannot wait to go through that game. Also picked up DMC Devil May Cry for PlayStation 4. Yes, I do have it for Xbox One, but it was cheap and on sale for PS4, so I decided to get that. Picked up Next Machina. Played a little bit of that. Really fun with that game, playing more Iconoclast. I was going to jump back into Yakuza 0 a little bit, but I might start that a little bit later on down the week. Also playing Bayonetta 2 on Switch. And I forgot to mention this also. Been playing Ever Oasis on my 2DS. And it's really good. It really is good. It's a little bit basic, like a little bit easy to get into, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm having such a fun time. It made me just smile by playing like a 3D action role playing game, and I'm just like, oh, I miss this style of game so much, and I wish it would come back. But like Bayonetta 2, I'm halfway done. I'm actually in Inferno, so once I play a little bit more, probably by the end of this not this episode, by the time this episode shows, I'll be done with the game, and then I'll jump into Bayonetta 1. Then hopefully jump back into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because I need to work on that game. Really need to get back more into my Switch games and finish them. Because I got to a point where I stopped and I had to play something else and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. But that's what's been in my arsenal. Like Corey did say, we will be picking up Sea of Thieves. So we're going to be doing an episode for that. So everybody mark your calendar. I believe it's March 28th. That's good. That kind of the last Sunday of this month. We will be playing that game. We will have our mugs and we will have our drinks everybody, it's going to be March 25th. Sorry about that. March 25th is going to be the episode for Sea of Thieves that you guys could check out. And we're getting our mugs, we're getting our costumes, our pirate stuff, and it's going to be hilarious. Of course,
it's going to be arguably our best episode.
Pretty much of Arsenal X. I don't know. We should get. I gotta find some crossbones or something and throw it up like a crossbone with the X, or you'll probably do a thumbnail or something like that. Probably our boss man will figure out. He's our video producer, so he knows the stuff.
Well,
but
knowing the stuff is putting it nicely. I usually just wing it sometimes.
Well, that's more experience than me. You have experience, knowledge.
Knowing is half the battle, as they say.
It's true.
G.I. Joe. So, oh my goodness, a platinum made a G.I. Joe game. I don't know what. I really cannot picture what company could make a G.I. Joe game.
I think the Coalition could make a cool G.I. Joe game. It'd basically just be like a
Gears of War.
It'd just be like a class-based Gears of War game.
Pretty much.
Or that would. I mean, or Activision,
Platinum could do it like Vanquish almost.
Yeah, I didn't want. Well, that's the Vanquish 2 rumor. That's.
Yeah, I saw Matt post that.
Yeah.
Like, huh. That'd be an interesting get, but I wonder if Platinum would even work well with Microsoft after the Scalebound stuff.
If their if Microsoft is like once again doing like Nintendo and like really fitting the foot in the bill for it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean it'll be a major win for Microsoft, I think.
Yeah. I mean, but money talks too. So I mean, I'm sure Platinum would take it on if they were getting paid enough. So
Yeah,
um,
maybe that'll probably be Microsoft's Bayonetta series.
mm-hmm.
I think it's fitting for the platform.
Yeah. Yeah. I still
So.
need to play Vanquish.
So good.
I'll
I have
find
it
it
on
eventually.
PS3. I can make you my copy.
No, it's fine now. I'll get it. It's somewhere, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to look for 360 at my local GameStop and couldn't find it. So I was just like, well, I got it for PS3. I already beat it already. So I just wanted to do it backwards compatible. And I don't know if it's on sale for Xbox One.
Which Vanquish? Which one is that? I'm trying to think.
It's
I
the
know I've
one
heard.
by Platinum and Sega. You're like in this army cover-based shooter, third person over the shoulder. The highlight is that you could slide like really fast
Okay.
to cover to cover and
Okay.
switch up your weapons and everything.
Okay, because
It's
I know I've heard of it, and I'm sure I've seen it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like 6 hours long, depending on how good you can play. And depending on what level that you are, it's pretty much like a cover-based shooter. Like that's pretty much all you do is shoot, and then sometimes you could do a melee attack, but you gotta let the suit cool down and everything. The person who voiced it is Spike from Cowboy Bebop, not Spike, from Cowboy Bebop, the main character. Is it Spike?
I don't remember. I
But
never really
you
got
know
into
Cowboy
that.
Bebop?
I know what it is, like the anime or whatever, the
Mhm.
show. Yeah, but I never really watched too much of it.
It's like Steve Braham or something like that.
Okay.
He's voiced a lot of people in anime. You probably haven't seen Samurai Champloo neither, have you?
No.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, I love that show.
He voiced it. He voiced one of the evil characters in the original Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
If you hear his voice, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, I know who you're talking about."
All right.
Yeah, he's a prolific voice actor. But yeah. Well, everybody, we're gonna get into our Arsenal news. And boy, do we have some stuff to talk about. Because this one, oh wow, we're gonna start it off easy before we get into kind of the craziness that went on. Well, everybody, if you're thinking about getting Marvel vs. Capcom, well, guess what? It's a good time to get it on Xbox One because it has joined the Play Anywhere initiative. So if you buy Marvel vs. Capcom for Xbox One, you'll be able also to play it on PC. Actually, you'll be able to play it on Windows 10. So during E3 2016, Microsoft took the stage to announce its Play Anywhere initiative. This new program will see games being released simultaneously on PC and Xbox One with crossplay enabled. One purchase will grant you access to both versions, and you wouldn't need to worry about restarting your progress as save files will transfer over. While there aren't that many titles available with Play Anywhere, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is suddenly now part of the program. Popping up on the Windows Store out of the blue, the crossover fighting game is currently available for $39.99 with the entire host of DLC ready to go. A deluxe version is also available for $59.99, includes the Characters Pass DLC. If you purchase this game digitally on Xbox One, you should already have the PC version along with any DLC. But anyone who was waiting should know that this version is Windows 10 exclusive. It will also be a universal Windows platform app, so that might bring performance problems or installation oddities. This story comes from Destructoid. So if you guys are deciding to get it, just check it out. Actually, Resident Evil 7 was the first one Play Anywhere from Capcom. from a third party. So this joins that program instead of it just only being Xbox exclusive. I know it's been very problematic with a lot of fighting fans and kind of gamers around the world. But what did you guys think about this? Did you think this is a kind of a good win? Help push sales for the game? Catch up to Dragon Ball Fighters?
Well, I think it's just, good in general, regardless of what the game is, for the Microsoft to kind of, get a chance to get some of these people who make games who, aren't exactly just Microsoft games that are being able to be played anywhere. So, that's cool that they kind of agreed to go ahead with that, So just in general, I think it's just good, regardless of the game. So,
yeah, I think the Play Anywhere stuff is good. I don't know how it's gonna affect sales for Marvel vs. Capcom specifically, just because like so many people are either into Injustice now or Mortal Kombat, or there's so much love for Dragon Ball Fighters that like this, like it's no longer good enough to just be good enough. You've gotta stick out. You gotta do something that sticks out from the rest. And like Mortal Kombat and Injustice fighting system and story modes are fantastic. Dragon Ball looks like you're fighting in the cartoon, and then you get this Marvel vs. Capcom that kind of just looks like it's launch PS3 game in the middle of middle of this generation. And it's like story's kind of whatever. It's missing fan favorite characters. I just don't see it. I just don't think. I mean, it might help a little bit, but it's not going to be like. I think it's going to be more for the people who are on the fence of buying it now between PS4 and Xbox One, and they'll be like, oh well, if I buy it on Xbox and I have a PC, I'll be able to play it there. But it's not going to influence people who are not gonna buy it anyway to buy it, I think. But I think it works better for Microsoft, honestly, to say like, hey, we've got an arsenal of third party titles in our Play Anywhere program now. So
yeah,
I mean, I think it benefits Microsoft and Xbox more than it does Capcom at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move into this craziness. So, it seems that Konami, after Super Bomberman R, Konami was on the road of becoming respectable again. There's some people who still mad. Well, we had to talk. I know, but I mean, we had to talk about with Contra Rebirth coming to Switch, like their Rebirth series. So that would have been a good outlet for them. Well, it seems all of that has changed because Konami is charging $10 for another save slot and for you to create a character on Metal Gear Survive. This news stories once again come from Destructoid. It isn't breaking news that Metal Gear Survive includes microtransactions, but it seems that Konami has really outdone itself this one. When starting Survive, you need to create a character to play with. The character will occupy the single save slot the game comes with. If you want to start a new character, it means that you have to delete your first one or pony up for another slave slot. While that is ridiculous, the actual price makes it even more salty. It will cost you 1,000 SV coins, Survive's made up premium currency, and the only options are either getting two 550 SV packs for $5 each or a single 1150 SV pack for $10. Yes, making another save file in Metal Gear Survive costs $10. Now, if you get the 550 packs, that's only giving you 1100 SV, and if you get the $10 pack, you get a bonus 50 for it. Do you guys think this has outdone any microtransaction that has been done in games? Even the horse armor when microtransactions first started out.
Well, the thing with the horse armor stuff, though, is like nobody really knew what they were doing for DLC. This is like, this is 12, 13 years later. And like, look, Konami needs something to make their image more respectable. Like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people don't really know what happened between Kojima and Konami, and this is like, if they're a fan of Metal Gear, they see Metal Gear on the box, like, oh, look, a new Metal Gear game, cool. But like, people like us know what happened. Well, we've read about what's happened, and we trust those sources that we've read and stuff. And we think Konami is like the big bad guy, and it's like, they need something that's going to make them look more respectable. They need to, and we know their only source of income isn't games. Like, they have more sources of income. They have health clubs, insurance companies,
arcade games,
pachinko machines, arcade stuff. Like, they have so many multiple outlets that, like, game development and game publishing is almost not worth it to them almost at this point. And then, what they did with Kojima and not allowing him to finish Metal Gear 5, and then cutting ties with him, and all the horror stories that you hear about chaining developers to desks, switching out emails every week so they can't, like, contact anybody correctly, like, all these things you hear. And then, that's all bad stuff. And then, we got Super Bomberman R, which was technically not Konami, but published by Konami, right? Which was a decent Bomberman game. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't bad. It was Bomberman, but it didn't really move the needle on what people thought of Konami, And then you get to something like Metal Gear Survive, which I haven't played it yet, but a lot of people that I've talked to or have played it say, like, the heart and soul of what makes Metal Gear isn't here. It's a fun gameplay loop, but it just feels like it's going through the motions, and there's nothing really changes from hour 2 to hour 20 to hour 30, and people are like, oh, well, they're selling this game at $40, so they kind of know what this is. They kind of have expectations of what this game is and stuff. And again, I'm not trying to trash talk the development team. This is all like higher up corporate Konami,
right.
The publishing arm of Konami. And it's like, who made them? Who's the guy that came up with the bright idea to charge for a save slot, something that's been standard in games since NES? Since, like,
right.
Like, there are games that have multiple save slots. I don't understand who thought this was a good idea, especially with everything Konami's gone through the last 2 or 3 years.
You pay $15 a month for an MMO, and you get to make multiple characters.
Yeah, it's just like, who thought it was a good idea to charge for a save slot? Like, why don't you just make the game $60 then and give us 3 save slots? Like, wouldn't that have come off better than just like charging somebody for a save slot? That's just so dumb. And you're already like, the public already knows, or the in the know public already thinks you're a crappy company. You're like the second worst next to EA. Like,
well, I was going to ask, do you think has Konami turned into Japan's EA?
No, because like, I think people like EA's games enough to where they can be like
tolerable.
Well, not tolerable, but they have more of an interest in being angry at what they do than like Konami, where like they haven't. EA puts out what, 7, 8, 9 games a year, whereas Konami's put out 3 in the last 3 years, and it's just like, I just don't think people are as invested in Konami as they are in EA to really blow this one up, but still, like, $10 per first save slot is just so stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how many save slots there is in the game.
There's one.
Like, I don't know.
There's only one.
No, I mean, when you buy another one, does it unlock 2 or unlock 3? Like, is the limit 3 save slots or something
3.
like that?
I honestly, I think the limit is 3.
Yeah.
But still.
Well,
still.
Well, like honestly, what I think they should have did is knowing that they're not exactly in the eyes of the consumer, they're not exactly beloved right now. And I think what they should have did is gone the route with this game, especially since it's not really a Metal Gear game per se, and it's not really a game that I'd hope that they're expecting to be this major, big selling title. I think what they should have did with it is like gone like the route of like Warframe or like War of Tanks or whatever, and made it a free game, and then they can do all this, stuff that they're doing, and it wouldn't be as big of a problem. Because if you're not paying anything for the game, but you have to pay $10 for a save slot, it's at least a little bit more, understandable or reasonable when you've got a game where you've got to spend a lot of money to buy, all these little things if you want to. I just feel like maybe they should have went that route with it and said, hey, here's a free little, side project of Metal Gear that you can play. There are certain things that if you choose, you'll have to spend money to get more of or get certain things, but the base game is free and you can, enjoy it the way you want to. I honestly think that would have been the better way of going about it. Just to kind of like I think maybe that would have made them look a little bit better in the eyes of the consumer. Just, but because I'll be honest, like I've seen some gameplay. I tried the demo, but it was shut down. It wasn't working when I tried the demo, like early, the very first one. But what I've seen of it, I honestly don't even think it's worth $40.
Yeah, it looks very basic. Like, and don't get me wrong, I kind of did like the cutscene when they announced this game. I thought it was cool. Thought they was gonna go somewhere, but now the way that I look, I'm like, you know what? You could have probably saved this for another game, and probably really put some money into it. Because
they should have just. What there should have been was like an expansion for Metal Gear 5. Like it should have they should have just sold it as like, hey, if you own Metal Gear 5, like this is $30, and if you don't own it, it's $40. And we have in-game transactions, level boosters, stuff like that, just like most other games of this sort. And it's like, this is what the game is. We want to keep the Metal Gear franchise alive. So I mean, this should have just been like an add-on to that instead of like a full-on game. It would have shown people that they are interested in keeping the Metal Gear license alive. It would have shown like, hey, this is just an add-on. This is mechanics from this game, whatever. I don't know. This whole thing is just weird. It's just weird to me. This whole thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a highlight at the end of the year of crazy news that was reported in 2018. Like this, yeesh, this takes the cake. I mean, come on, Konami. Like you have been one of my favorite, personally, one of my favorite third-party Japanese developers ever since the NES days. Yeah, you and Kojima never whatever that situation it was, but I'm just like, I can't defend you on this one. This is insane. You shouldn't be charging your customers for a save slot.
Yeah.
So,
but
well,
at the end of the day, it's like I'm not interested in this game anyway, so like it really doesn't affect me. It just seems dumb. So
it sucks for the people that it does.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on to the next story. Hey, Corey and Jesse, do you guys remember a game called Turok?
I do.
And do you remember its sequel, Turok 2?
Do
I
you
do.
remember that there was 3 N64 games and 3 GameCube games?
That GameCube one was a ratchet mess.
Do you remember the Xbox 360 reboot that was awesome?
I guess. No, actually no, because I didn't own the 360.
It
Yeah, the
was on
360.
it was on PS3 also, but man, that game was
Oh.
awesome.
Yeah, it
Oh, I
was
remember
pretty
that.
good.
Oh, yeah, the reboot. Well, everybody, the first Turok games have been remastered in their own Xbox One. They're available for you guys to play.
Remastered
They
is
come,
that term is just kind of thrown around for this one.
yeah.
There's no fog
This
though.
uh, this one comes from Night Dive Studios, who recently had to delay the System Shock project. Turok is likely not a panic button, as the timing is far too compressed for that to be true, but it's definitely convenient for them. The games are on Xbox Live Store now at $20 each. You guys could look at the trailer, and this story comes from Game Informer. Um, I did play the original version on N64.
I
It
still
was
have it
okay.
complete in box. All right.
I've tried it. I rented part two, and I thought that game was a janky mess. I'm like, what the world is this? And then when it came to GameCube, I was I that's probably one of the worst first person shooters I've ever played.
You're playing it wrong, man.
And
You just use the cheat codes and get cerebral bore, and then you're good to go.
That's what I actually did to beat half of the game. Like I got I got through half of the game without using no cheat codes. And I was just like, I can't do this. This game is just too terrible. Used it, got to that one captain. He was on the big dinosaur. And they used him like for bad games of the year kind of awards. Yeah. Go ahead, Jesse, because I can't.
I was gonna say if you didn't like the original Turok, because I don't honestly, I know I've played them on 64 because and I liked it just because it was kind of unique at the time.
Yeah.
But I can't remember how it played. But if you're saying that it was bad, then it must have been bad, because even GoldenEye, like the most beloved game on N64,
Yeah.
one would argue, that game was so bad. Like, going back trying to play it now, it's like if you would do anything with any kind of explosions, like the screen just like pauses,
It runs
goes,
at like 4 frames a
pauses,
second.
goes, pauses, goes. And it's like, how did we enjoy this?
We didn't know any
Like,
better.
seriously.
We just
Yeah.
didn't know any better. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, Jesse, like, Turok is still like a unique concept. Like, it still
Yeah.
hasn't really been done. Like, we had Dino Crisis after Turok, but like,
That was
There-
bad. I didn't like that at all.
there still isn't like a game where you're like trying to hunt dinosaurs. And I think if they brought Turok back now and they got the right developer, and like, I think honestly,
Oh my goodness,
I
it'd be
think-
evolved to.
no,
Ugh.
No.
I think id or Machine Games should do Turok.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Like, and
Like
make
a
it play-
Doom style.
Yeah, and make it play like Doom.
Dude,
I think that would
that
be
would
awesome.
be amazing.
Yeah,
Machine Games did Doom, right?
Machine
No.
Games did Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Id did Doom. Like, give it to one of those teams and like really make it. I probably id more than Machine Games, just because like Machine Games is better at telling a story, or allow them to like collaborate or something. Like, I just think it would be really cool to see Turok come back in some sort of cool way. Like, I really thought the concept for the 2007 game was cool. Like, they rebooted it. It was like dinosaurs in space, and you landed on a dinosaur planet, and you're trying to survive on this dinosaur planet as your team's getting killed off. But like, it was still a cool concept, and I'm really surprised that game didn't really like,
Take off.
well, not take off, but they didn't get a sequel, because like, it wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great. Like, you think of the good first person shooters that came out that year, like Halo 3 came out that year, and you're like, and then you turn around and go to Turok, and you're like, oh man, this isn't Halo, but it still was like a cool concept, cool enough to where like I think someone could have done something cool with a sequel.
Was Acclaim still around at the time?
No,
Because Acclaim owned Turok and Turok 2. Acclaim owned the franchise, and Jesse, Turok 1 was good. It was good. Turok 2 just felt very different, and it just like the production of it was cheaper, and I'm like, this looks bad.
It was
I do remember 2 not being as good, but I still loved 1. Yeah.
Actually, it was developed by Propaganda Games and published by Disney Interactive. So Disney owns Turok.
For the reboot on 360.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Because Acclaim did the GameCube version.
Yeah, Capcom published it in the eastern regions, and Disney published it in the western regions.
Oh wow.
Well, I was just thinking a little bit, and like, imagine if they gave Turok like the Zelda, the Breath of the Wild treatment, and made it like similar to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
But not quite as RPG-ish as that, and made it more like Zelda, where it's like you kind of do what you want to do when you want to do it.
So basically, Far Cry 6 or Far Cry Primal.
Or you could make the upgrade system similar to Tomb Raider and still make it look and play in an open world like Horizon. You just make the upgrade trees more like Tomb Raider.
So switch it to a third person where you actually can see, because Turok has always been first person.
Right, but I think switching it, I think taking it away from what we think of Turok. Look what that did for Tomb Raider, moving it away from that stiff kind of movements and stuff and giving it like a real feel, like moving it away what we think of Turok and making it something new would totally revitalize that franchise,
Yeah.
So
can you see it running on a Crytek engine?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think that would be sweet.
I see it running on like Unreal, because the 360 game, or that generation game, was running on Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal 3?
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, because I think if they were to do that to it, kind of give it like that Breath of the Wild treatment, and kind of like reinvent itself, I could see it being that like going kind of towards what Monster Hunter is, but give people like me and you and people who don't have 45 minutes to spend on one hunt, that ability to be able to hunt things like that game, but not have to spend, not be quite as time consuming, and be more of a game that you can sit down and play in small chunks when you get the time to play, and kind of be that alternative option to play, for the people who like the idea of Monster Hunter but just don't have the time to invest in it.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on to our next story, and oh boy. Come on. Goodness. I would pay money for that too. $40. I would pay 40.
If they do. It was amazing, you would pay 60.
If it was amazing on Switch, I would pay 60. If it was on the other systems, $40.
What if that's the next game Nintendo goes out and gets? Just a new Turok game.
I literally be blown away, and I'd be like, Corey, wherever you at, stop the bus that you're driving or whatever, get on your phone, and we must do a reaction right then and there. Because I would literally be like, this is all I want to talk about for Pablo if that happened. But it seems that teen has been banned from violent video games. After an Illinois 16-year-old made a threat on social media against his school while playing a video game, the judge in this felony disorderly conduct case took his phone and banned him from playing violent video games. The youth, whose name has not been released as juvenile records are sealed, had apparently been annoyed by other school shooting threats, shutting down Lake Park High School's campus for 2 days in a row in Roselle, a suburb of Chicago. Expressing this frustration, he posted a Snapchat video of himself playing an unidentified violent video game and captioned it with, "Y'all need to shut up about school shootings or I'll do one." After the video had been reported to authorities, the teen was brought in, questioned, and charged with specific charges that have not been officially released. A police search of his home revealed no weapons, and his parents have said that they do not keep any at the home. At the hearing, the judge banned him from using social media or playing specifically violent video games. "You can play all the Mario Kart you want," the judge told the teen. "It is unclear how the court plans to enforce this ruling. It is similarly unclear in what way violent games contributed to the credibility of this threat." And then they mentioned something about that person in charge of the state, but I won't get into any of that. So definitely after the Florida shooting and things like that, there's been a lot of people turning their kids in or their grandkids in because of planned shootings and stuff like that. What do you guys think about this? I was seeing it and was just like, wait, what? And I don't know if he was playing PUBG. Is going to be my assumption, or Fortnite. They didn't make it clear. But what do you guys think? Can a judge do that, and how do you think it would be enforced?
Can I? Do you care if I start?
Go ahead, Jesse.
All I'm gonna say is, I don't think this way that they've gone about it, doing this or dealing with this, is right. I don't really want government, so much stepping in and trying to tell people, what they can or can't play or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do think needs to happen is the parent should be the one being talked to, because there's a rating on games for a reason. You're not supposed to be playing a game, the whole shooting thing that he said, we're at a time where you can't, you've kind of got to take things seriously when someone says something like that. But at the same time, kids are stupid. We've all, when we were kids, said stupid things. And honestly, people have thoughts that they never speak out loud that would be pretty bad if they were to speak them out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But no, 90% of the people, or 99% of the people, I should say, don't act on those things. People think things, people say things that they don't mean. Whatever, that is what it is. But the parents should be the ones being talked to in this situation, and say, they should be doing their job.
Well, I think if we would have found out what the game he was playing to say something like that, we could understand. But if he's playing like Fortnite or PUBG, what if he was playing Splatoon or something? Now, and I'm assuming that he had to be playing this on YouTube or Twitch, that he made something like this, or even Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I don't know what social media that he was playing this on. It's just very weird. Of what game that he was playing. Now, if he's been banned from playing them, but he could play all the Mario Kart, I don't know that. Do the parents
are
go?
blue shells not violent?
Yeah. Well, what if he said, "Hey, if you don't, stop with all this talking about school shooting, I'm gonna run someone over with my mom's car." I mean, at what point does it really matter? It's honestly, how many times has someone said to me in the game chat that they're gonna do something to my mother or whatever, like, I mean, people just say stupid things to get a reaction, and I really think that that's all this was to get a reaction out of someone. It wasn't to actually, like, wasn't to be taken literal. And like I said, we kind of do have to take things seriously now. But I feel like, yes, talk to him about that, and, and make him realize that, hey, that's not something to joke about. Maybe show him some news footage of what's been going on, and, see whatever. But again, I just think that, like, him being taken to court and them, like, trying to ban him from something, I just don't think it's going to make a difference. What's going to make a difference is him being parented.
Well, I think what happened is that he was going to court for his conduct.
Yeah.
So partly for what he just said, and he would have been banned from social media. That would have been it for it. But he made I guess a threat, or he responded still in a negative, disorderly way. So that gave the judge, I guess, the right to give him more punishment. Yeah. So maybe now, because I don't know if he's playing on console or PC, the parents now got to put parental locks on it where he can't play M-rated games. Any disc that he put in or digital but game that he buy, it'll recognize, well, this is locked. You need the code to unlock it in order to get this game on the system, and he's not able to play it. Same thing probably with PC. Who knows? Like, he could probably make another account and be able to play games that nobody would be able to check him to see what he's been playing. Corey, what you think? I'm sorry.
I don't really have a lot to say. I just think, like, like Jesse said, kids say stupid things all the time. Like, they literally say things to get a rise out of people, or try to make somebody mad, or try to feel like a bigger person than somebody else. Like, they say stupid stuff all the time. You know how many people I've heard, like, when I was in school, say, like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill myself, or I'm gonna kill you, or I'm gonna kill your mom, or something. Like, just to get a rise out of you, or just to, like, make you angry or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, we live in an age where, I mean, all these school shootings and whatever, like, it's a scary time, and I'm not saying you should take any of that lightly. It should all be taken seriously. But at the same time, if you're playing a video game, how many times this week did you play on an online game and somebody said something about your mom, or coming to threaten to kill you or whatever? Like, seriously, that's unfortunately, that's the online ecosystem we live in. It's just, and people try to make, when you're young, people make jokes about unfortunate situations like school shootings or terrorist attacks or assassinations or whatever. Like, kids make jokes about that, whether they're in good taste or not. Like, they do, and kids say a bunch of dumb stuff, and I don't think it has anything to do with violent video games. I just think it's the way society works these days. I think that it's a combination of things, like maybe parenting or bullying or friends or lack thereof, surrounding yourself with the right people, like all the stuff we all lived through all of that, and it's just, unfortunately, we live in a time where things are heightened. They're taken out of context. They're taken too seriously. Sometimes they're not taken seriously enough. But I don't know this kid. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's like, where are the parents? If he's under 17, how is he buying mature-rated video games in the first place? Why are the parents not educating themselves on the systems? Like, there's parental controls on every single system that's out.
Yeah, but the parents are not doing their research, and the kids are not telling know.
Well, that's on the
Parents
parents.
won't
Then
know about it.
that's
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
parents. Every parent in the world knows what Call of Duty is, whether their kid plays video games or not. Every parent in the world has probably heard of some sort of Grand Theft Auto game. It's like it's not like they don't have to know what the game is to know what the game is. You know, Call
Right.
of Duty, you shoot people. Grand Theft Auto, you're doing drugs and banging hookers. Like that's the public consensus on what that game is. You know, it's
Right.
like,
And
and educate yourself. Like there is a perfect video online the other day I saw. I think Jesse, we talked about it a little bit, where like the mom was on the phone and the kid and this little girl brings like 6 or 7 games up to the counter, and the mom's on the phone and just hands the guy her credit card, and it's like Kitty Murders 3 or something, and like all these games that are like super violent, and that's
well, I have a problem with that video because the little girl was Asian and the mama was white, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense.
she's adopted, Ed. Come on.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that's the perfect video of like how parents view video games, and they just get the games for their kids to shut up, and so they can have some quiet time.
I can agree with this video, and I'll even go a step further. When I think it was Black Ops 2, when it came out, kid had to be only 8 years old, asking to buy the game and had his parents' credit card in his hand while the parents were inside their car, outside the car. And this was just like, I'm not selling this game. I'm not even walking to the case. You cannot buy this.
Yeah. It's just...
It is...
Yeah, I was at, where was I? I think the last time I was in GameStop, which was like before Christmas. Like I was in there walking around looking at stuff, and some dad comes in with his kid. The kid probably, gosh, I don't even know if the kid was like old enough to even be reading. He was probably like 7, I would say 7 or 8. And he picked up the Master Chief Collection and took it up to the counter, and the GameStop employee was like explaining to the dad, like, this game is pretty violent. Are you sure you want your kid playing this? And like, he's like, well, as long as you're not like hurting people or anything. He's like, well, you can shoot other people in this game. And he was trying to explain like the online stuff, and dad was like, it's fine. He like wasn't even listening. I'm like, and Halo's like on the low end of violent video games. Like,
right.
You're talking about violent shooters. Halo's like on the low end of that totem pole, but
the content of being online with other people is unfiltered.
Yeah. And like, you know, this is a totally different conversation than loot boxes and everything, but like, there's a rating system on there for a reason. Like it tells you exactly what's in the game, and like, it's for the parents. It's for the parents to be educated on this stuff. If your kid's into something, be educated on what they're interested in. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. Like, it has, like, Jesse probably knows firsthand out of all of us. Like, he probably doesn't like half the crap his kid likes, but like he's at least educated enough to know what it is and seem interested in it, and like, you know, it
restriction mode on YouTube and things like that.
Yeah.
You gotta start, you know, learning how can I make sure that my kids don't see something or play something that I know they shouldn't. And, you know, and like Switches made it really easy for me, for the kids, you know, to find games that, you know, that I know that they'd be interested in, that are, you know, appropriate for them. And, you know, I made an account for my son, so it, you know, he has his own account on there and things like that. But, you know, that really, he can't do anything, you know, buy things, any of that kind of stuff, which I've had a little bit of a trouble in the past with my Xbox, him figuring out how to buy stuff, because he wanted, you know, luckily it was, you know, they just wanted to watch an episode of like Paw Patrol or something, and he figured out how to buy it.
Big
But-
Daddy Paw Patrol.
Yeah, yeah,
How did you get that?
yeah.
It's like when my cousin's kids are over at my mom's when she's babysitting them. She gives them the iPad, and they're 4 and 7, and they navigate YouTube like pros. And my mom doesn't understand like what the parental controls are through YouTube. She doesn't even have an account. It's just the app that's loaded onto her iPad, And it's like my little cousin's on there like looking up Star Wars Lego figures, and literally within 3 clicks, he's on this Darth Maul fan film where he's murdering Jedi in the woods, and it's like a 20-minute video, and he sit there like enthralled with it, and I'm just like, how did you get from looking at Legos to murdering people in the woods? Like, it's terrifying. Just like 3 clicks, he's there.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's the thing too, is I still gotta be vigilant to when they're watching stuff on YouTube, because you have restricted mode on, there's still a lot of things that can slip through.
Yeah, and there's no way they can filter everything.
Yeah. But I was gonna just say, just as an example of like I don't know if you guys have an example of like when you guys were younger of like where your parents put their foot down, but I remember I had a copy of the White Zombie album, Super Sexy Swinging Sounds, and it's got like Rob Zombie's wife like naked, like swinging in a hammock or whatever. Uh-huh. And my mom, when she found that CD, I like went to go find it one day to listen to it. I'm like, well, where did it go? And my mom just like had a talk, and she's like, yeah, I threw that filthy CD out. I'm like, what?
Not so much my mom. She like the first kind of M-rated game that she ever bought me was Mortal Kombat 2, and because I played Mortal Kombat in the arcade, you could play anything in the arcade, and she knew that I knew the difference between violent content and acting out violent content. Because if you taking me to go see Action Jackson, or I'm seeing Commando, like I'm seeing Predator, like I stood up to watch Nightmare on Elm Street on HBO with my family. So I'm like, I seen violent stuff. Playing it as a video game with Mortal Kombat 2, my thing was just like, this game is going to help me to be cool. It's more skillful. So when I go to the arcades and I'm playing other people, I know all the tricks and all the moves. I can show that I know how to play a fighting game like that, and still be able to play like Kid Nick Eye or Turtles in Time, or I keep coming back to Turtles in Time. Someone bring that old game back. Pretty much.
Yeah. I just remember, like, I never really had a lot of violent video games just because I wasn't really like interested in them really. Like, I mean, my friend had Street Fighter 2 for Super Nintendo, and he would bring it over and we would play it, but like I knew it was just like, I just knew like, oh, well, this is just a video game. You probably shouldn't do this in real life. But I was also old enough, and then like the first really violent video game I owned was GoldenEye for 64, and my mom always made me turn paintball mode on because my friend's mom told her about paintball mode. She's like, if you're gonna play that, make sure you turn paintball mode on. I don't want to see that blood. And I'm just like, whatever, it's still GoldenEye. Paintball mode made it better.
Yeah, it was better anyway. That's what I was gonna say. You remember just shooting the walls, like writing out stuff, and like you'd spend like 25-30 minutes just doing that.
Yeah. But I mean, like when you grow up watching Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, like, or like Transformers and G.I. Joes, like you just know, like, oh, well, that's
this is a crazy thing. That, okay, I don't want my kid playing violent video games, but you taking him to a karate class, so he might chop some. I know that's stupid. He might chop somebody or slap somebody.
Ed, you're black. It's not racist.
But again, I think the difference between that is like, like I honestly don't mind kids playing certain video games that they might not be old enough to be playing yet without supervision, or like, you know, some kind of you know, like make it something that you can do together, you know.
But parents are more focused on what's going on in their life.
Yeah, but
older people, I should say, than what their kid is.
But I honestly, I think that's part of the issue is like, you know, and I think part of the problem.
Hold on, just before you go on, you know, this is going to be a expansion pass topic later on.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well,
expansion pack. I'm sorry.
Then I'll just make it. I'll just make it simple.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I think this is a good discussion that we can have on that. That you guys should check on Nerds Gone Rogue Radio on YouTube.
Well, I was just gonna say, you know, like I feel like you know, you could do these kind of things with your kids, like play games and stuff like that. Because like when we were younger, it was mostly you know, a social thing that we did for the most part. You know, like we got together or we talked about it at school, and you know, like we, you know, it was just something that made us more social. And I feel like that social part of it, like when you're younger, doesn't exist quite as much. You know, as you get older, I think, you know, we talk about stuff a little bit more. But I feel like now it just seems like a lot of times you hear about kids just playing games and stuff like at home and not getting outside nearly as much and things like that. It just doesn't, for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to carry over from when we were younger, where we still wanted to get outside, or, you know, or doing games was more social, like, you know, in person. And you know, Nintendo obviously is trying to keep that alive, where they're making you want to be able to play in the same room. But I think that's the thing. Like I've played the Lego games with my kids sometimes, and you can have two controllers and you can play it together. Like, yeah, it's technically just a Lego game, but you're still shooting things with laser guns, and you're slicing, you know, the Lego characters into pieces with a lightsaber. So, I mean, you're still technically doing something that's considered to be violent. Yes, there may not be blood flying everywhere, but, you know, ultimately, is it really that much different? I mean, you know, but just, I don't know. I think it's just, you know, it all comes back to being educated, and like, you know, like we could play violent video games even when we, you know, sometimes games that we might not have been old enough to be playing. But I think that's the issue, is most people know right from wrong, as long as they're being, you know, like educated on it, and, you know, are kind of, you know, have a supportive, you know, family system or whatever. And, you know, it's not really a big deal, but it's unfortunate that because there are some kids that, you know, may not understand it, or it just doesn't click with them, you know, that everyone ends up having to be like punished in a way. But I don't know. I just think it all ends up coming back to education, though. Like what Corey said, is just trying to be educated on what you're letting your kids have, because I guarantee you no 13, 12-year-old is going to be buying their own PS4. So
you'd be surprised.
Before you set it up for them to have, you should probably, you know, be educated on what exactly they're using in your house that you own, that they live in, you know. So,
hey, if kids ask for digital currency like PlayStation gift cards or Xbox gift cards, or even Switch or even Steam gift cards, like, as long as they have a way to purchase stuff, not do a credit card, but with a gift card, get it, whether it's physical or digital, it won't matter. If they have the money to be able to buy that game, they're going to buy it. You bought the system for them, and you got it online.
That's on the parents to educate themselves. The
Yeah.
difference between a quote adult account and the kids sub account. That's
Well,
Yeah. Well,
but-
and that gift card will, once he gets it, yoink, I'll put it here, and you can have it when
But
you want
see,
to get
that's the pro-
something,
but
and
see,
I'll
that's-
be
but-
making sure what you're
But see,
getting.
that's the problem. If you're if you ask for gift cards for your birthday or for Christmas or Hanukkah stuff, that's unfair for you to yank it. That's a gift that's for them.
It's not
Well,
though. If you are like, hey, if you establish the point where like, hey, if you get gift cards, we're gonna put it in this box to keep them safe, and when you want to purchase something, you let a parent know, and then they can kind of guide you through it. And if it looks violent, you tell them no. Like you just tell them no. Like,
but that depends if the parent even knows about those systems because of the digital platform. Because when
but I think
retail,
I think we're getting to the point where like, look, we're all parents that have lived through this digital transition and know what digital accounts are. It's not like my 65-year-old parents are having kids now and are trying to learn about all this.
But that's the thing. In retail, when you're telling people who can't find a game to buy it digitally, they're trying to educate parents that, hey, this game is violent. You can buy it digitally, but no, this is the way that if you want to buy it, you don't have to use your credit card. You're educating them so that if they do decide to not buy the game and stuff and decide to give gift cards or give cash, like there's parents who are letting their kids buy gift cards for that system or buying the gift card for that kid for the system, and they're buying it on the digital platforms. Parents don't know about it. All they think about the gift card is a gift. It's their money, and they do whatever they want. So it don't matter what the content it is they're buying. So if kids get smart to that and parents still don't pay attention to that, then once again continues to be on the parent. If you just because you bought a kid a PlayStation 4 doesn't mean that it's going to be in the living room. It's going to be in their room or downstairs. The parents are not going to be checking the content that they put on the system.
Well, then that's on the parents for being lazy.
Hey, if kids are of 8 or 13-year-olds are telling parents to buy them Fortnite because they want to play the Battle Royale and parents are not doing no research, that's on them. Parents would rather do research on stuff that matters to them than what matters to their kid. For some parents.
Well, but their kid should matter to them. And that should be part of it.
And that's part of the problem. That's why I think that game store one is speaking so much true with the mom just giving a credit card, because there's people who just like, I'll pay for it. I want to continue my conversation, not what's going on in this transaction.
Yeah.
And we'll probably return back to that on Expansion Pass. We're going to get into our last topic, and then we're going to kind of wrap up the show because it is kind of getting late. I got to say that Microsoft got a great update that's coming for you guys. Microsoft has started talking about the next big Xbox One update of 2018. The spring update will support 1440p resolutions, which we'll commonly see in computer monitors. The resolution isn't quite 4K, but it's a step above 1080p, allowing players who are using monitors for the Xbox One or TV that supports 1440p but not 4K to take advantage of the resolution increase for the dashboard. Additional audio options will also come in the update, allowing players to mix audio too. For example, listen game audio and raise Spotify to listen to music. The system as a whole also now supports spatial audio for people with surround sound systems who want to take advantage of their setup. Mixer, Microsoft's streaming service, also gets a major update. When streaming games, players can set up a virtual controller for people watching on their computers, allowing someone else to occasionally tap the A button in ways that help you, or more likely ways that super don't. You can find the full list of changes at Microsoft blog post. Alpha Ring members, of your part of the program, they'll get the update or they got the update now, while the rest of us will see it filter out over the coming weeks or so. So I think this is cool that they're ready. They want to go into um this cool kind of update, definitely with the audio. Like I would love to like kind of mix around with the audio system. So if I am listening to Spotify or whatever music program the system has, while playing games and stuff, while chatting with you guys, maybe you guys are going to the bathroom break and I want to hear some hip hop jazz, I could probably cut it on and listen to it while we chatted, and then be thrown in a cage or off a ship or whatever crazy nonsense that may happen among us. But what do you guys think about this?
It's awesome. Like I'm always glad to hear about improvements and stuff, and I think Xbox, is always been really good at trying to, make little changes and improve things and stuff. Especially, I've noticed it, I think, more so with the One, the Xbox One over all the Xboxes. But it seems like the One, there's like always something they're trying to tweak or trying to make better, so it's definitely a plus whenever we get some new changes. So
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of this stuff is like it's basically just gravy on and like I don't know what this last update was that happened, but my Xbox has never run better. Like it's just never run better. It's just been super smooth, whatever this last update was. But it's a lot of features that I'm sure a small percentage of people will use, but it's everything they've done since like backwards compatibility and changing the dashboard in the first place. Like everything has just been so fan servicey and just really like promoting a good platform to play on, and this is just doing more of that. So I don't know if I'll use any of it, but I'm sure at one point I'll need to use something for something, and it'll be there, and I'll be like, oh, I'm glad this feature is here.
Yeah. Well, everybody, that's going to do it for the show. I did have something planned for our Arsenal exchange, but we've been kind of running long. We actually had that great discussion on parenting and rated games, and talking about the Dreamcast and all this other stuff. We really had a great conversation. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, you guys can interact with us more. Email us. We want to know what you guys think. What you think about the Dreamcast if you have one? What you think about in-rated games and parenting? What do you think was Konami thinking of with the save system?
You guys forgot about that. Why did you have to bring that up now?
Sorry.
What do you guys think of a new Turok game?
Yes.
See, Corey, we're not gonna fool around because we got to finish part 2 of our Metroid Divers.
Oh, don't worry. Our next thing is going to be about Turok. What we want from a Turok game. So
goodness.
You should join us for that Metroid conversation next week.
Yeah, I would like to.
Go ahead.
Can I just say something? Because I really do. I know we don't have to talk about it, but I really do want people to check out the Phil Spencer talk at DICE.
Yes.
Like maybe we can just put a link in the description or something. Maybe I don't know how that works exactly.
Yeah, Jesse, it's in the Arsenal X Facebook chat, right? I'll just post it in the episode description.
Okay. Yeah, because I want people to hear that because it's an amazing speech and it deserves to be listened to. So
yeah, every time Phil Spencer opens his mouth, I just listen. He's a fascinating human being.
Yeah.
It deals with building a company and dealing with culture around the world, like environmental culture. I not like how he talked about building worlds and epic world building and stuff like that to really get people around the world to play games and stuff. And he apologized for that GDC travesty that happened in 2016. I actually had to go back and look at it because I forgot all about it when I'm like, what the world? And then I'm like, oh, that happened. So yeah, guys, do check that one out. We'll probably talk about that on next episode of Arsenal X. But you guys can email your thoughts, your opinions, your love, your hate on the show and to the show to us. You guys can email that at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com, and also send us some expansion pack questions. What you guys want us to discuss? You can also email that at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com and put question for Arsenal, not Arsenal X. Oh goodness, this is too much plug. For expansion pack, you guys could send a question for that.
Also, in the upcoming episodes, I'm gonna have all of our gamer tags and where you can follow us on social media in the episode descriptions as well. That way, our plugs can be a little bit shorter than usual. But I'll have the link to the Facebook group and the Xbox community and all of our gamer tags and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's something I can talk to you about later, Corey, after we're done.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys, and join us on the Facebook page at Arsenal X Podcast on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode and check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and other places. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @sub_humanist.
And Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CoreyNHD.
Yes, everybody, please check out our extra other shows: Squad Goals, Let's Pod and Play, Nintendo Pop Block, World 11 Podcast, Nerds Gone Platinum, and our home podcast, Nerds Gone Rogue Radio, with Jesus there. Also, check some of our reacts, our mini directs that we talked about, and our short stuff like B-sides and a expansion pass and a expansion pack. Check all of that stuff out, and more new content that's going to be coming along the way. With that, everybody, we're about to throw out the X one more time because we're exiting out of here. Thanks you guys once again for joining us on Arsenal X Podcast, and we shall see you later. Peace.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.